asking me why.
Hey guys, I've had the Taurus TCP for several years now. It's proven to be a very reliable gun. So far I've had no malfunctions with it. I've shot about 800 rounds through it, and it's been very reliable. I like the compact size of that, very tiny. When I went to the gun shop to look for a little pocket 380, they had this gun, a Ruger LCP, and a Kel-Tec P3AT, all in the gun case. So I compared them all side by side at the time, and this gun had the best trigger, and it has a last round hold open. The magazine has a little steel insert in it that lifts up on the slide release there and locks the slide back on the last round. So that was an advantage over the Ruger and the Kel-Tec. And it also came with 2 magazines. Another thing I really liked about the Taurus TCP versus the Ruger and Kel-Tec was a trigger pull. Again, this is safety checked. Trigger is double action only, as you would expect, and it's just very light and smooth. The Ruger was pretty heavy. I'd say a pound or two heavier than the Taurus, and the Kel-Tec was even heavier, and it kind of had like a rubber bandy feel to it, real stiff. So I decided to go with the TCP. So it'll hold 6 rounds in the magazine, plus 1 in the chamber for 7 total. Nice compact package. So I'm going to go over some of the specs. Your weight. We'll do the weight empty and with a loaded magazine. So empty is coming in at just over 10 ounces. Then if you were to load it with a magazine, nothing in the chamber, looking at a little over 12 ounces, the way you would carry it. The empty magazine back in here. Yeah, take a look at the sight picture. Very minimalistic. Has a slight front sight, not much there. Matter of fact, I'm having a hard time in the camera picking that up, but you get the idea. There isn't much for sights. This is an up close and personal gun for self-defense. Yeah, I'll go over the length too. Forgot to do that earlier. So the length is just over 5 inches, and height is like 3 5/8 inches, and thickness, looking at just around 3/4 of an inch thick. And the grip on this gun versus the Kel-Tec or the Ruger is slightly bigger. The Ruger has even a smaller grip than this, a little thinner, and I kind of like that though too. Anyway, so I can just barely get 2 fingers on there. I get about 1.5 fingers on it. So, but as far as recoil with a 380, not that bad. And what I've been carrying in the gun is Spear Gold Dot 90 grain, jacketed hollow points. Ran these through the Coroni. I did a video of it. These go about 950 feet per second through this tiny little gun. The barrel, realistically, you know, here's your chamber. The way they measure semi-automatics, they would say this is a 2.8 inch barrel, but realistically you're looking at about a 2-inch barrel there. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this gun's been very reliable. I've got about 800 rounds through it without any problems. Ran all types of ammunition, all types of full metal jacket. I've ran the 90 grain jacket of hollow points. The Spear Gold Dot's the only one I ran through it as far as hollow points, but full metal jacket. I think I ran about 4 or 5 different types of ammo, plus a bunch of hard cast lead reloads that I load up to like 800 feet per second. And it's ran great without a hiccup. No problems whatsoever, other than when I first got the gun, I was having some problems. I did send the gun back to Taurus. There wasn't any functioning of the gun, but the fired cases had a bulge in them. The feed ramp on this gun, I really need to take the gun apart for this to show you. Might as well do a breakdown of it right now. So what you do is you take your magazine out, lock your slide back, take that pin out, release the slide, comes off, just like just about every other semi-automatic gun nowadays. You can see I've been shooting this gun. It's pretty filthy. But problem I was having, let's see. As you can see, this is a new barrel that they gave me, but you can see the feed ramp kind of goes up and doesn't 100% support the case. Well, originally with the other barrel that was in here, it was cut away even more. So you had an unsupported part of the brass was unsupported, say about that much, and I was getting bulges in the brass right here. Only on certain brands of ammunition, and right now I can't remember which brands it was, but it was cheaper ammunition, I'm sure. So sent it back to Taurus. They sent it back with a new barrel, and they also did another upgrade. They must have did something with the breakdown pin here, because it's extremely hard to get out. The other one I could pick it out with my fingernail. With this new one, maybe they put a new spring in there, that spring wire that holds the pin in, or maybe it's a revised pin with a deeper groove in it. But I think some people in the past have had problems with the takedown pin walking out on them, and so that they upgraded also while I was back at Taurus, and sent it back, and they sent me another magazine. So right now I have 3 magazines for this gun. Other than that, no other mechanical issues. One sort of annoyance with this gun is the way it ejects the brass. So, and I also made a video on that. When I first got it, I was pretty annoyed with it because I like to pick up my brass. So I like a gun that ejects the brass off to the right. You know, it's okay if it goes behind you or whatever, but this ejects the brass basically straight up into the air. And I'll put a little clip in here if I can. I've seen quite a few, when I was looking at this gun, quite a few videos on YouTube where people are actually getting hit in the forehead with the brass, which hasn't happened to me yet. It always seems to eject the brass up over the top of my head and behind me. So one remedy I did try was to the ejector here that used to be straight across. I don't know if you can see it. I kind of filed an angle onto it a little bit in the hopes that when the round would hit it, that it would eject off to the right when it hits that angle, but that didn't work. It's still, I think it's, what it is it's mounted, the ejector's really low in the gun. There's not a lot of space in these little 380s, and it must be hitting just the bottom portion of the case, and then it flies pretty much straight out back. So those are the only issues I've had with the gun. It's been very reliable. So there it is, guys. Taurus TCP, little 380 pistol. I'd give it a good rating, other than the minor annoyance of having that brass fly up over your head. Okay, take care, guys.